All right. I managed to read another page of the Bible, Genesis 10:13 through Genesis 12:19. And in this part, in the first part, it talks about the descendants of Noah and, all their kids, their parents and stuff like that. But it also talks about the one they only spoke one language, and they decided to build a tower to heaven, like tall enough to reach heaven. And of course, God didn't like that, and to prevent them from finishing the tower, God decided to send them all away and change their language. So that one language turned into multiple languages, which is why we have so many different languages all across the world. In this second part, it talks about, what was it? The Lord appeared unto them. It talks about Abraham and his wife, and how the Lord told them to go to Egypt due to a famine. And in Egypt at that time, well, I'm not sure about now, but at that time, Abraham had a beautiful wife. He had a very beautiful, attractive wife, and he was afraid that if he said that he was her husband, then the Egyptians would kill him to get her. So in order to keep himself safe, he decided to say that his wife was his sister. That way, they wouldn't have to kill him it was all for his safety in general. And after they reached Egypt, the Pharaoh found a liking to his wife, and since he thought they were brother and sister, he treated Abraham as like a brother-in-law. Decided to give him ox, sheep, donkeys, all that stuff, like as a being like as a present. Later on, God decided to plague the Pharaoh's quarters. And once the Pharaoh found out, he was obviously furious that Abraham lied to him, that it was his wife, not his sister, and he told him to go away. Like, that's the general gist of it. But, I still haven't understand it 100%, but, I'm getting there, and I'm also using other resources to understand some of these pages. But, now I understand, some, different languages and, God's protection, because, Abraham was scared of going to Egypt, but with God's protection, he plagued, the Pharaoh himself. So I don't think anybody's going to mess with Abraham right now, because he has God's protection. But, that's what I understood from the story. Obviously, since it's my first time reading it, I'm not going to understand it as if I had read it, hundreds of times. But, I'm getting there. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I get to read more soon.